Hello and welcome to this edition of FYI Weekly, your official source for City of Greensboro news and information. The Greensboro Planning Department has released its latest quarterly GSO 2040 Comprehensive Plan Report. The report is available online and offers an overview on implementation and progress made across the city toward reaching goals for growth. This update summarizes some of the most important data and trends shaping Greensboro. A few examples include the North Carolina chapter of the American Planning Association awarded the GSO 2040 Comprehensive Plan with its Marvin Collins Award. This recognizes plans that advance the science and art of planning. The city's budget, water resources, and transportation departments have completed projects that support the goals and visions of the plan. Residents are encouraged to attend a public planning meeting on Thursday, December 2nd, to learn more about the East Gate City Boulevard plan. Stay up to date on GSO 2040 implementation by signing up to receive an email when a new report is available. Submit your contact information on the e-Notify page of the city's website and select GSO 2040 in the news section. Construction is well underway for Bailey Village at New Downtown East. This is one of many new Invest East developments. Bailey Village represents mixed-use development, offering a combination of luxury apartments, walkable internal streets, ample parking, and a unique linear green space that will serve as a recreational and activity space for residents and their dogs. Future development will include a grocery store along with plans for boutique retail and restaurant venues. The 14-acre site formerly served as a U.S. post office and was purchased in 2005 by the United House of Prayer for All People. Factors influencing the site development include its close proximity to the campuses of Bennett College and North Carolina A&T, the ongoing growth and development occurring in downtown Greensboro, and the market demands for additional rental housing and retail. Throughout the planning and design process, the church worked closely with community leaders and other key stakeholders to present a development in response to the community needs of East Greensboro. Bailey Village at New Downtown East is located at 900 East Market Street. The International Civil Rights Center and Museum will host its annual fundraising gala on Saturday, February 5th at the Corey Convention Center. The museum will mark the 62nd anniversary of America's most recognized lunch counter sit-in protest against segregated eating establishments in the South. This also marks the 12th anniversary of the museum's existence. The doors will open at 6 p.m. and the program will begin at 6:30 p.m. For a reduced rate, the program will also stream live for those who are not able to attend in person. The gala celebrates national and local activists who've made significant contributions to advancing civil and human rights while helping communities bridge the generations of social movements. This year's notable honorees include civil rights activist and professor Reverend James Lawson, Vice President Kamala Harris, civil rights attorney Benjamin Crump, political commentator and attorney Bakari Sellers, and Rabbi Fred Gutman. For more information or to purchase tickets, please visit the Civil Rights Museum website. The city developed a partnership with Cone Health to share a series of brief and informative videos designed to inspire you to make better choices when it comes to healthy living. Following these tips is an easy way to help each of us improve our quality of life. Let's take a moment to check out today's news for your health.
Are you experiencing stress due to remote learning during COVID-19? If so, you're not alone. We're going to talk about ways to manage the stress as remote learning continues during this new normal. This is a stressful time for all of us, and it is normal and appropriate for parents and for children to be experiencing the stress of COVID-19. Something that's been especially stressful is that it's put so many parents in the situation of having to juggle working from home with managing their children's remote learning. One thing that I recommend is looking for ways to establish boundaries. You could do that through establishing some semblance of a routine. It doesn't have to be a strict schedule, but just making sure that you have, regular meal times and times of day when you're definitely working and times of day when you are definitely not working. So one thing I definitely recommend is that parents try to set aside time for quality time with their kids. You know, we're around each other more now, but the quality of that time has gone down for many of us. Try to set aside time for quality time so that you're not always trying to work while they're trying to go to school in the background, but that there are also dedicated times that you spend to just enjoy each other's company. When you see your child feeling stressed, one thing that I definitely recommend is being an active listener. So rather than waiting for your child to reach out to you, reaching out to them and letting them know that this is stressful and you're here for them. If your child doesn't want to talk about it, that's okay. Go ahead and give them their space. But at least that way they know that you're there and that their stress is normal. It's not something strange or wrong about them. When your child does come to you with concerns, the first thing that I recommend is to just listen to them. As parents, it's really normal to have an urge to comfort our children and reassure them that things are okay. But in this situation especially, that could inadvertently have the effect of invalidating their feelings. After you've listened to their concerns, see if there's something that they can do today that might make them feel a little better. We can't make the pandemic go away, but maybe there's some small thing that they can control in their life right now that might bring them some sense of relief. While a certain amount of stress is normal and even appropriate, there are some symptoms that may be a sign that you could benefit from further treatment. Among adults and children, these can include difficulties with sleep, changes in appetite that cause an impact on weight, either weight gain or weight loss, loss of interest in activities you or your child used to enjoy, difficulty focusing or paying attention, more frequent bouts of tearfulness, or even increased irritability. You may also experience excessive worry and difficulty relaxing, or a lack of energy and persistent feelings of fatigue. While children may also demonstrate all of those symptoms, they may also have unique symptoms of anxiety and depression. These can include fluctuations in grades. So for example, if you notice your child struggling with a subject that used to be easy for them, many children will manifest symptoms of anxiety and depression physically. So your child may complain of stomach troubles and not really be able to identify the cause. If your child is having difficulty focusing or avoiding activities that they used to like, that could be due to anxiety or depression related to the COVID-19 pandemic. If you or your child are experiencing any of these symptoms, or if you would simply benefit from talking to someone, many providers are offering telehealth visits that you can attend from the safety of your own home. While this time is challenging, it's important to remember that remote learning helps slow the spread of COVID-19 and keep children and family members safe. This will not last forever. By following these steps while remembering to wash your hands regularly, wear a mask when in public, and practice social distancing, we will get through this pandemic.
Researching building permits in Greensboro is now just a click away, and visual artists will ring in the new year with a new platform to display their work. We'll have those stories and more news coming up after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back to FYI Weekly. The City of Greensboro is making it as convenient as a click of the computer mouse for anyone interested in viewing active building permits. The permits can be accessed from the city's new online portal. It's as simple as users filtering active building permits by address, application type, occupancy type, floodplain, land use type, or city council district. To view the permit information, click on a permit once it appears on the map. The portal includes a permit metrics tab to view a comparison of the previous 5 years of building permits. The portal also contains useful links to permitting applications and plan review. Creative Greensboro, the city's Office for Arts and Culture, is providing monetary and marketing support to local visual artists whose work will be displayed downtown. 10 artists will be selected for the new Art on Downtown Kiosk program. They will each receive a $500 honorarium and at least 10 weeks of their work displayed on digital kiosks in downtown Greensboro. One artist will be selected for the Art in City Hall program. This involves a $3,000 commission to create an original piece to be displayed in the city's permanent collection and displayed downtown at the Melvin Municipal Office Building. Applicants must be Greensboro-based artists, and the deadline to apply is Friday, December 3rd. A selection committee will announce the selected artists by Friday, January 28th, and their work will be displayed 2 artists at a time until the first quarter of 2023. The application and additional requirements are on Creative Greensboro's website. For more information about downtown arts, contact Karen Archia at 336-433-7362. The City of Greensboro encourages residents to bookmark the winter closings page on the city's website. This is the best way to stay up to date on changes to city government services and hours of operations during inclement weather. Simply visit greensboro-nc.gov/winter closings on the city's website. The winter closings page features a link to an interactive map that shows where snowplows are operating throughout Greensboro. There are also links to the city's official Facebook and Twitter pages. The page also includes the list of local news stations that update the status of city government closings and delayed openings. Now is the ideal time to visit the city's website and bookmark the winter closings page in advance of any winter weather events. Preparing for the holidays involves more than the time and attention paid to decorating. Coming up after the break, we'll talk about keeping family and friends safe as you celebrate the holiday season. Stay with us. Welcome back to FYI Weekly. The chorus, "'Tis the season to be jolly," can hit a sour note if steps aren't taken to put safety first. Joining me now to walk us through holiday cooking safety tips is Dee Shelton. She is the Fire and Life Safety Educator with the Greensboro Fire Department. Hello, Dee. Welcome back.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining me. So let's get right into it. People are going to be cooking up a storm in the next few weeks. What types of safety issues are causing house fires and injuries due to the cooking for the holiday season?
Very simply put, it is always unattended cooking that is at the top of the list. That's both in the kitchen and if you're frying turkeys.
Okay, that sounds simple enough. You would think that if you've got all 4 burners on top of the stove, maybe the double ovens are going at the same time, what do we need to do to avoid being pulled away or distracted while we're cooking?
Well, just making sure that those diversions are lowered. If you're cooking and there's things on the stove going, make sure you're not walking away from that. Make sure that you are not answering the phone, answering the door. Get someone else to do that if possible. And if you just need a break, maybe, we're cooking all day, maybe you need a restroom break or to rest your feet. Get someone else to stay in the kitchen with whatever's cooking so that it's, it's not unattended.
Okay, good tips and good to think about. I tend to not want anybody in my kitchen. That's my first rule, because it's a distraction in and of itself. So no people in my kitchen when I'm cooking. Now, a lot of people have kids and they want to be part of the festivities, and a lot of times you can have kids be part of the baking process. Holiday treats are popular, but how can you make it safe to have kids in the kitchen?
Typically, we tell you to keep the children and the pets at least 3 feet away so that we're not tripping over them or spilling something on them. But when they really want to be involved with it, just make sure that you're supervising them very closely and that you're helping them to make, safe choices and safe movements in the kitchen.
Okay, and probably not the day of is probably not the best day, so maybe
Probably
start
not.
ahead of time
Yeah.
and get a head start. Now, one popular holiday menu item is fried turkey. So what is it that you want us to know if we are planning to use a deep fryer to fry the turkey?
Well, there are many tips, and of course you can check out the NFPA's website with their safety tip sheet, but one of the top things is the turkey is wet or it's not completely thawed. That's one of our biggest issues. So making sure that it is completely dry, completely thawed out is it's instrumental in making sure that we don't have a fire. Another thing is that when you're transitioning the turkey into the pot or off of the burner, anything with the transitioning of that oil, just make sure that you've already turned the burner off, turned the gas off to the burner so that there's not an open flame, so that if we spill it, there's not a fire.
Oh, that sounds pretty elementary, but I guess if you've got a lot going on and you're so busy trying to get the turkey out of the fryer and make sure you don't drop it, it's maybe possible that you forget to turn things off or move very carefully. So one mistake I think people make is not measuring the oil properly. How can that cause a problem?
So if you've got too much oil in there, you have a fill line on the pot, and how do you know what to do? A few days before, put water in the pot, go ahead and put the turkey in there and fill the water to the fill line, leaving the turkey in its wrapping. Then go ahead and take the turkey out, and wherever the water lands, go ahead and mark that on the outside of the pot so that then the day of, you're going to fill that peanut oil to that level and you know exactly where to put it.
That's a very good tip, and a lot of folks probably aren't thinking expansion. So as soon as you put the turkey in, everything under there is going to come up.
Right.
Well, Dee, as always, you give us very important tips. Thank you for making sure that we're following safety around the kitchen, and that way we can ensure that we can have a enjoyable holiday season.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. Stay tuned for some useful information about Greensboro as we tell you something about the city. That's coming up after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back to FYI Weekly. One way to stay informed about decisions that impact you and our city is by attending or tuning in to City Council meetings at 5:30 p.m. on the first and third Tuesday of the month. The fourth Tuesday is reserved for a meeting as needed. The City Council has resumed meeting in the Katie Dorsett Council Chamber on Level 2 of the Melvin Municipal Office Building, located at 300 West Washington Street. The public is allowed in person, but in a limited capacity. Those who choose not to be in the building can participate virtually. The Greensboro City Council meetings are broadcast right here on GTN. The meetings are also streamed live on the city's website and on Roku. To review the council meeting schedule and agendas, please visit the city's website. Here's an opportunity to learn a little something about the city. Action Greensboro welcomes Bramley Crisco as its Director of Talent Development. Crisco brings broad career experience and a passion for professional development to her new role with the Greensboro Chamber. Most recently, in her corporate relations role for the Bryan School of Business and Economics at UNCG, Crisco developed and expanded relationships with employers locally, regionally, and globally. Her work focused on innovative business partnerships, experiential learning engagements, and employment opportunities for students and alumni. To learn more about Action Greensboro's talent development programs, contact Bramley Crisco by email at bcrisco@actiongreensboro.org. Coming up after the break, we'll showcase our department spotlight, but first, hear from our neighbors who boomeranged back to Greensboro.
Westerwood just is the art and soul of Greensboro is what I call it, really. It's this eclectic, just very diverse, very cultured.
Kind of the same way. I mean, it's an artist neighborhood, and I love like Daniel Park that we're in right now. Beautiful for walking, and Westerwood Tavern, good for hanging out.
My name is Natalie Miller. I'm the owner of the historic Magnolia House in Greensboro, North Carolina. Moved back to take on the family business and to carry on the legacy and do the important work of sharing the historic Magnolia House's narrative and all of the other African American sites here in the area.
I'm Tal Blevins. I'm the owner of Machete Restaurant here in Greensboro, and previously I spent 20 years as a tech journalist in San Francisco. Greensboro really offered us the opportunity to start our own business because it had a lower cost of living, and it also had a lot of open retail area for us to be able to look at. We started as a pop-up out of our house just to kind of test our concept for Machete Restaurant, and then we were able to find a space and we were able to kind of live our dream.
What's really awesome that I was really impressed by when I first moved here to the Westerwood neighborhood, we have this annual event where all of the neighbors are invited to showcase their art on the porch. And you go to these people's houses and you see what they do outside of their 9-to-5 selves, and it's amazing.
So when we were looking for houses in Greensboro and we were driving around Westerwood neighborhood, we love the different architectural styles here. We have a 1920s arts and crafts house, which has got a lot of character, which is something we wanted. We have fantastic neighbors, so it just had all the amenities that we wanted, as well as being close to downtown too.
Welcome back. The City of Greensboro has more than 20 departments and several divisions committed to serving you, our residents and visitors. Let's go behind the scenes in our department spotlight. The Taylor Turner Hatchery Pond at Lake Higgins Park has been restocked with trout. The pond is open from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Wednesdays through Sundays until February 2022 or until trout supplies run out. Anglers must be at least 16 years old and must have a valid North Carolina fishing license, which can be purchased at the marina. The fishing fee is $2 and $4 per pound of fish caught. A trout stamp is not required. All fish caught must be weighed and kept. This is not a catch and release fishing program. The Taylor Turner Hatchery Pond is located at 4235 Hamburg Mill Road. For more information, call the marina at 336-373-3739 or visit the city's website. Straight ahead on the other side of the break is this week's Way to Go GSO shout out. Stay with us. As we draw to a close, we always want to end on a positive note with our Way to Go GSO shout out. This week's shout out goes to the Greensboro History Museum. Global Attractions industry news source Blue Loop recognized Robert Harris, the museum's curator of exhibits, as one of its 2021 Top 50 Museum Influencers for his work on the Pieces of Now exhibit. The honor puts Harris in the company of his peers at museums around the world as people whose innovation and creativity have been key in guiding museums through a turbulent 12 months. The Pieces of Now exhibit will close on Sunday, November 28th, but the virtual exhibition will remain available online. That concludes this edition of FYI Weekly, but you can easily stay connected to the latest city news by linking to us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. Alexa users can subscribe to our 5-minute flash briefings, which airs on 90.1 FM and 100.7 FM. Be sure to download our weekly podcast, Talk City Greensboro, and now GTN is streaming on Roku. For all of us here at the City of Greensboro, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.